This is a quick tutorial on how to draw the male reproductive system. I'm recommending that you draw it sideways on, much more tricky front ways on. There are different ways in which you can incorporate the bladder, but I'll show you which one I think is simplest, and I suggest you do this after the female reproductive system, just because it's that much more complex. So I'm going to start off by actually just drawing in the outside sort of part of the penis, okay, widening towards the tip, okay, and around. Then I'm going to come down and draw in a scrotal sac here, or the scrotum, okay. Then obviously I could have a leg drawing off here and off round, okay, but I'm just going to have that as my out part. One thing I have done here is I've not left an exit for the urethra, so I'm just going to erase that one out. Okay, so now comes some more tricky parts. I need to start here with the testes. So I'm going to draw one of them, the other one would be behind. Obviously this is just a two-dimensional representation. I'm then going to have the epididymis, that coiled tube that kind of matures and stores sperm, ready for ejaculation. And there's my vas deferens sperm duct coming off there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that sperm duct and we're going to go up. I'm just going to do one side of the tube to start with, up and around. Now, many diagrams have it coming lower, but I'm finding it easier to actually go around the bladder. So I'll do the same. So we've got a nice tube. I'll try and keep it roughly consistent, but don't panic. Just do it nice and calmly. Here we go. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a bladder, okay. Now some diagrams have this sperm duct going through the middle. Obviously it's actually going around the outside. It just looks from the diagram like it's going through the middle. It's clearly not. And then we've got the urethra coming out, so the bladder empties urine into the urethra. And then we've got a little trickiness because we've got to draw some connections. This sperm duct is going to join into the urethra. We've got something else coming in here. So I'm just going to erase a little bit here. That's why it's also handy drawing pencil. So I'm going to have my seminal vesicle coming off here. Okay. So there's two of these, one either side. I'm just going to draw the one. Maybe that's a bit big, doesn't really matter. And then if I draw my urethra, that's going to come up here, closer to this side, okay? So up, I'm going to have it come behind my sperm duct. I could draw a section of erectile tissue here on the penis. Maybe kind of just shade that in, not as much as there is, and it goes further back, but there's some if we want to label it. Okay, and then this urethra is going to come in here. Whoops, went a bit wide there. Again, the beauty of a pencil. So let's bring this down a little bit actually, and down and up. Okay. So what I really need is a clear connection for seminal vesicle into the sperm duct clearly into the urethra, and it's open, so it's connecting. I could draw a cowper's gland coming in here with an open duct, but I don't think that one's necessary to have. I'm also going to draw the prostate gland, so that actually entirely surrounds the urethra here. So you see it's roughly spherical. And you can see why when that's enlarged, it squeezes on the urethra and affects the flow of urine. Okay, so now to label some things. I'll label one seminal vesicle. So that's producing fluids that are going to be basically squirted into the sperm duct. So it's a fluid for the sperm to move in. This is the prostate gland. When you're writing the prostate gland, it's prostate, not prostrate. Okay, very important one there. I can have my sperm duct. Maybe I'll label that up here. Sperm duct. I've got the bladder here. I'll label one testes, so I'll use an I, it's an E for the plural. This sac is the scrotum. If I come over here, I can obviously label the penis. You'll note I didn't draw foreskin. I could, but it's not necessary. I could label my erectile tissue here. And finally, this tube is the urethra. I think I'll label it up here so it's out of the way a bit. Urethra, not to be confused with the ureter. Okay, so we have scrotum, testes, prostate gland, seminal vesicle, bladder, sperm duct. One more thing to label. This coiled tube here is the epically named epididymis. Okay, there's our completed drawing. Not perfect, but perfectly acceptable to get all the marks that you need should they ask you to draw.